Hi, fashion dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, March 5th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. As you guys can see, I am wearing a new look today. This is all metallic. I wanted to do something completely different, celebrating the season's success. And thank you all so much for tuning in each and every day, Monday through Friday, and enjoying the interview yesterday with Stephen Morris. I had such a great time. But joining me today, our very special guest is no stranger to the show. He's been on the show twice already, and he is back today so that we can catch up on all things the Braxtons, the First Family, and what else he's been up to, and more. So, without further ado, let's welcome our incredibly talented special guest, the fierce, the ferocious Bernard Q. Settles, ladies and gentlemen.
How you doing?
Hello,
How
hello.
you doing? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. It's great to have you
Thank you. That was a
back.
great introduction. For a second, I said, "Who the hell is she talking about?"
You.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
It's such a pleasure to have you back. So before we catch up on all things the Braxtons, because I did catch all seasons. Oh my God. That's why when we were exchanging DMs earlier, I said
No.
Kenneth. So if you guys can watch all 10 episodes, you know. So what has happened? Because I know the last time you were here, you said that you were expecting beautiful baby girl. So how is fatherhood?
It's beautiful. This is my second daughter. I have an older daughter. She's 8, and so our family just got bigger. You know, Chelsea, her son's 8 as well. So we had the twins. We call them the twins all this time, and now we have baby Melody. She's 3 months now. She's actually sleeping, so
Oh.
have a little time, right? Right, have a little time to myself. Mom's in the other room though, so she'll be able to get her if she wakes up. But it's beautiful. It's been really good. It's been a blessing. It's put a lot of things in perspective for me. Even when I'm stressed out, I have to stop and remember how blessed I am. You know, and she's living proof of how blessed I am.
Yes. And what is it like being a girl dad? You have two daughters already. So what is it like
Oh,
being a girl dad?
it's the best. It really is the best. You know, because I don't play about my girls and they don't play about me. You know, and we have a different relationship. Me and my oldest daughter, we talk like best friends. You know, if we're in the street, we're getting out the car. If a car is coming, she'll yank me back and say, "Dad, look out!" You know, and it's no different with Melody. We all. This is everybody's baby. You know, I was very selfish with my oldest daughter. Like, nope, this is mine. Stay away. So I'm not more
Right.
inviting with baby Melody. You know, everybody can't get her, but you know, I'll share. I don't hog the baby as much anymore.
Oh. It's great to see you, a protective father, protected dad. I'm the same way over my nephew. I think we touched on that the last time I said that we welcome my nephew into the world. So I go automatically in auntie mode. I'm very protective. And it's just exciting. It brings a newness. It brings a wholeness about you welcoming just a gift into the family. It's a great feeling.
A lot of perspective, like, your first child, my first child was like, okay, I got to grow up, and you start getting things in order. A second child is like, okay, I really got to get it together. So again, a lot of perspective, a lot more motivation, a lot more love. I can't ask for any more.
Absolutely. So we covered fatherhood. Now, the Braxtons, first family, we touched on it, and I watched all 10 episodes. You did a post not too long ago, and you asked, have y'all seen all 10? I have been binge watching it every day. It is officially my favorite guilty pleasure now, the
Wow.
Braxtons family. Uh, the season started off, I'm going to do like a brief recap. The season started off with Pastor Patricia, she had Pastor held hostage, and then the end part is what took everybody for a complete 360 and turn. Like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
The husband caught her. Her husband caught her, which is your son on the show, and then Pastor came up, and then okay, that's where Kenneth. That's why I kept calling Kenneth. This is the episode before the season finale, which would have been episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria, the character Victoria, she says, Kenneth, don't do this. You were so ruthless in that particular episode. So ruthless. Like, Pastor is no good. And Victoria, for you to kidnap the mom and say, bring her over to my place. She said, Kenneth, you have no heart. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my God, like, don't do that to that lady like that. Now, what was it like? What was it like tapping into that moment of kidnapping something that's so precious? Because I'm the same way. My mom is a diamond to me, and I'm very protective over her. So to see Victoria do that completely shift from this strong, powerful woman, and then to just go back into the very vulnerable stage, like, Kenneth, you are so evil,
Yeah.
pure evil. That's what she said. So what was it like tapping into that moment? And then there was a scene before it goes back to a flashback after Caleb captured you and brought you back to safety and everything. It goes back to the marriage, the part of you two being married, and you two are reciting Bible verses. So that's why I said ferocious and fierce in the beginning, because when you tap into Pastor, you tap into it like nobody else. And it's just like, it's, you can feel it. It's just like, oh, he's so evil, he's so hated. So what has been the reactions from people from watching all 10 episodes?
Thank you for that. And before I got to give a shout out to Eric and their writing, but also my scene partner Kristen. She is an amazing actress, and that was my motivation going into it because I knew I was working with one of the best. Okay, and then knowing that, and also knowing who Victoria is. If you know the story, Victoria is my wife. So she is my equal, if you will. So I had to be prepared for her to take it there, and I also had to be prepared to take it there. Because if I'm going to do pastor, the thing with pastor, you have to do it all or don't do it at all. It's all or nothing. Give it everything you got. But it's funny you asked me that about people's reactions. So recently, and we'll get to it a little bit. We had the Secrets 2 premiere. And
Yes.
there was a young lady there. She came in and she saw me and she went, "Oh, you evil bastard." And that reaction is really weird. It throws you off, but it's at the same time, it's flattering. It means that the work is speaking for itself. So everyone's reaction has pretty much been the same. "You so evil. I can't stand you." And it's a compliment at the same time because I wanted to pinch that nerve. I wanted you to feel triggered. And if I did all of that, you don't even know me. If that's what you took away from it, mission complete. I served the character.
And the first lady, Patricia, she was just taken aback on episode 10 when you walked into that boardroom. She was just like, "You supposed to be gone. What are you doing here?" And then she tried to act all surprised, like, "Girl, you knew what was going on. You knew you kidnapped him, and you knew he was coming back for revenge. He was out to seek revenge." And the son also teamed up too. The son was just in a disbelief when after Caleb captured you.
Mm-hmm.
So that scene, that particular scene right there, what was running through your mind?
Well, that was shout out to Chardell. She's one of my favorite people to work with. She is my, when I if I know I'm going to get into it with anybody, it's going to be Chardell. But that was partly her real reaction because we don't get the whole script. We just get our scenes. So she had no idea what was going on when she saw me. She was just as shocked as anybody else would be that think they have this person locked up in in a basement and they just pop out. So that was probably her real reaction because even when I walked on set, she said, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Then the previous episode where you guys are sitting down together, you, Caleb, and Kenneth Jr. are sitting down and plotting, like, what are we going to do? Because Patricia, the first lady, she's always one step ahead. And she was trying to get rid of Victoria. So it's just like, you got a bigger problem on your hands. She's so powerful. She's just like Victoria, very powerful, but Victoria is her equal. So that's the person she's totally trying to get rid of. And then there's some humor in the show as well, too, between David's characters, David's significant other, the character who's married to David, uh, and then Patricia. The scene between these two where they were reading each other in the house, and then she came over to visit them. That was funny. So there is definitely some humorous aspects. And then the scene where she finds out that they are married and how the father wouldn't approve of it. That goes on in the purchase. But that was funny where he was just like, "Oh yeah, that's right, mom." So the exchange between these two and then the exchange between you and Victoria. That scene where you two were just spitting out the Bible verses at each other. And she says, "You are pure evil." What was that like? What place did you have to go to when you were reciting these verses back to each other?
I just thought about, before getting to the evil, I thought about reciting a Bible verse, and we see Pastor Braxton and his his evil maniacal state, but we never actually see him preach. So I kind of had to tap into that Southern Baptist that I was raised with, that preaching style, and also understanding that I'm using it as a weapon. So there's some vitriol behind it. So I made sure to say it with a lot of passion, with a lot of emotions, that way you felt every single, when I said throne, I wanted you to feel it you know
And you did it with like a this growl, this belt. So that's why I said ferocious in the beginning, because all of your acting, you can feel it. And then you're playing another evil character, which we'll get into. I seen the flyer. I said, "Uh-oh." So that's going to be coming out next month. So I'm excited to see that. But Secrets season 2. Tell us, what can we expect on season 2 of Secrets?
Well, you're going to see a continuation of the Braxtons, but also you're going to see a lot of new faces. And these are some really, hats off to the cast. We have some really talented folks on board with us. Writing has gotten a lot stronger. So the scenes are so much more intense. Everybody's kind of gotten into a rhythm with each other. And you could probably tell, I'm curious, I want to see myself how it goes along, how you have two scene partners and how they are, let's say, in the first episode, and how their chemistry will progress as the show goes along. Going back to David, that's Dakari and James, the ones who revealed their chemistry has gone from a place to where it is now, and those two on scene together are amazing, really amazing.
Yes.
I got to give a shout out to Dakari as well. Dakari just won Best Actor for the season 2 of Secrets premiere, and I have to definitely congratulate him, because he did his thing. He absolutely did his thing. He's a very talented young man, and I look forward to watching him work every time he's on camera.
And that's your grandson on the show.
Right.
So to see, and he's running the church as well too. And
Mm-hmm.
Dakar is going to be coming back on the show as well too. We've chatted briefly, and I've seen his performance as well. And I'm just like, wow, to
Yeah.
be able to turn it on and turn it off. What was it like behind the scenes, those? Because some of those scenes on the show on the Braxtons was so intense.
I'm a lighthearted person, so I always try to keep it light. I'm laughing between scenes. I'm always got a joke or something to tell. I'm completely opposite. I'm a complete opposite of Pastor Braxton. But one thing I'm starting to embrace more is staying in the character, because it's easy for me. I don't find it difficult to jump back into the character. I don't have a lot of difficulty with it. But I find, and you'll see in season 2 of Secrets, where I have, found a way to stay in the character, and you'll see that intensity remain the same all throughout. So I made him a little more intense, but he's a lot more calculated now. He's a lot smoother now. He's more secure in himself and his position now, because he got his revenge, right? But also he's still operating behind the scenes. It's been a blessing to have this character so long, to be able to develop and grow with the character. At one point, I was intimidated by it because I'm playing an older man, and so now it's not so much of a problem. I don't even think about it. I just know when to turn it on and give the scene what it deserves. My man Akim
Now,
is on the line. About him.
I see you. I see some of the cast coming in. Welcome. Welcome. I really enjoyed this season, but I'm excited for season 2. So, when I seen that there's a season 2, I'm like, it just can't end like that. With them two tied up to the chair, Carter and Patricia tied up to the chair together in the season finale. I was just like, I wanted more. So I said, this can't just be 10 episodes, but to know that it is coming back, I can't wait. I'm anticipating to see what else is next, because I'm pretty sure Patricia is going to get her revenge. She always has to have the last word, and that's what I've noticed about her character. She's not going to just let it get away that easy. The same way when they went to the cabin and Carter and David was getting into it, and then it was just a whole scuffle. So I can't wait to see what this season is going to be. Uh, is going to have in store. Now, you have another project that is going to be coming out on the 16th, streaming on the 16th of next month, April, and it is called Killer Baby Daddy. So when I seen the poster of it, I said, "Uh oh, I already know what this is about to be." And I see you in red.
Yeah,
I already know this is going to be something. So what can we expect in this project?
it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's definitely one A56 film. Shout out to them. They put out a lot of content. It goes to Tubi. Um, it's a story driven movie, right? So that's why I even put in the caption. It's not a horror flick, but I get to slice a couple people up because there's a build up to it. It's a person who's at their wits end, who at the enough's enough, and he snaps. Really fun. I got to work with some really talented actors. Brandy, Michael were all great, with putting that together. I got some game from Michael as well. Michael Johnson, big shout out to you, sir. Um, but expect fun, expect crazy. When I have to give crazy, I give my best crazy impersonation for sure.
Now, how's this character different from Pastor? Because in a way, they are both evil,
Mhm.
but it takes a person. How would I say it? It takes you have to push a person really to get them to that evil place. So there's always a backstory with every villain in every horror film or every thriller or any drama series. So how's this character different from Pastor?
That's a great question. What you'll notice, so when we were introduced to Pastor, he was already mean. He was already evil. Not much of a backstory. Where you're going to see the build up from this guy, a normal guy. You may see some flashes of crazy here and there thrown in, but you'll see the progression, how this cool, everyday guy loves his daughter. He has a daughter. Loves his daughter. Once that relationship is also trying to work on his relationship with the mother of his child, and it goes completely left. But stay tuned for that one. That one's pretty. I had a good time. I had a good time filming that one.
And it takes you a little bit out of the element because we know you as Pastor Braxton, and it's just like, ooh, that again, that scene where you got Victoria's mother to your house, and you sent someone, you called and you got someone. She said, "You leave my mother out of this," and then it's just like everything behind the scenes of each character just started coming out. Like you told your mom that you were going to you told your mom that you were going to take the kids and leave, and everything just started coming out in that particular scene when you confronted Victoria on it. So I'm the same way. My mom is precious to me. If I was in that situation, if I was in Victoria's situation, I would feel the same way. Like, you leave my mama out of this. Don't do this to me. And then she went to that bathroom and she made that phone call. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if Pastor was aware of that. We, the viewers, seen it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't wait to see what's to come in season two.
No,
So.
absolutely. He always likes to have the upper hand, and he does that with leverage. So it's always going to be like Patricia likes to have the last word. Pastor likes to have the upper hand. He has to be in control. He finds a way. He'll go to desperate measures to whatever that means. He's gonna get it.
And then Carter is Mr. Fix-It. His character, this gentleman's character, Carter, is like Mr. Fix-It. So he does all the dirty work. And Hope Faith Beauty says, give us a little snippet of your favorite scene.
Meaning, like, what, from the Braxtons? I'll
I
do
already told that
I'll do
one.
this one. I'll do this one. I'll do this one. And the devil who has beseeched them was thrown into the lake of fire and brimstone, where they will burn forever and ever.
And that's when she said, Kenneth, you are pure evil. She just kept saying it. And I was thinking the same thing too. Like, he is. Like, Pastor is ruthless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's fun. It's fun to play the character. It's fun playing the villain because there's no rules. There's no rules. I don't have to think about how I'm going to be perceived. I know how I'm going to be perceived. I get to choose.
And the reactions from people when people walk up to you, what are their reactions firsthand when they say things to you?
I get a lot of compliments on my performance. A lot of a common question I hear is, how do you get yourself to that place? What are some kind of tech skills? What are some techniques that you use to bring that out of the character? And I have to plug in Darren Henson. I went to an acting intensive by Mr. Darren Henson. He came out to Maryland, and it was a 2-day thing, and he really taught us about telling the truth, whatever the moment is, tell the truth in that moment. If you're living your true, authentic self in that moment, it will show.
100%, and it makes the scene come alive for actors. It makes it so believable because Pastor is so believable to all of us now. It's just like, wow, this man is ruthless. He's capable of anything, and even the sons as well too, Kenneth Jr.
It runs in
So
the family, right?
mhm, it's a lot of secrets and scandals, and even David that on the season finale when the other gentleman's character took the money and he moved the money back. So I said, "Oh, ho,
Mhm.
ho."
Mhm. And
Then
just
he's
wait
just
till
like, "I got to get ready for my
just
sermon."
wait till you see the season 2 of Secrets. The episode literally picks up where the Braxtons leaves off and takes it even further, even
I
further.
can't wait. And it's a lot of new faces. One of them I've already had on my show, PJ. Shout outs to PJ. He's a musician. He acts. He does it all. I've had him on, and he was just so laid back, so down to earth. So I can't wait to see what he's going to be bringing to season
Yeah,
2. I'm pretty
he was
sure.
in season 1. He was in season 1. He did this thing in season 1. He's one of the main characters for sure.
And Hope Faith Beauty says, best feeling is doing what you love to do, and being good at it is a bonus.
Absolutely, it doesn't feel like work.
All right. So we've got the Braxtons. We've got the Killer Baby Daddy film that is coming out April 16th. That'll be streaming. What else is next for Bernard in the
Well,
future? And then you've got another job, fatherhood as well too. So
that's my primary job, right? Everything else can stop. I can't stop that, and I won't. I don't want to. But I'm glad you asked. So I took some notes so I won't forget. So I have a Hustler's Son 2 that I'm working with Cartel Urban Cinema. Shout out to them. It's a black-owned production, all black women, amazing writers. A Hustler's Son is on Tubi, so this will follow suit on Tubi as well. That one's coming soon. I want to say this summer. Also, with Cartel Urban Cinema, we're doing a series that we're going to start filming that in April called Shit List, where I put on my. I think I'm a villain in all these, but I'm getting back into a different side of it. Um, Also, Love Inside the Drug Game. That one's by 856 Films as well. The same people that brought us Killer Baby Daddy, 10 Kilos in the Trunk. We're doing Love Inside the Drug Game, and that's with Jordan Campbell, very talented actress. I think she's theater trained. And that one we tried to we tried to make it light. I'm not my normal mean character. I'm an everyday guy just trying to make it that gets caught in a wild situation. I had a good time filming that one. I think everyone's going to enjoy that as well. We have Secret Season 2 that premiered on the 24th. Stay
yes,
tuned for the release date. The Braxton Season 2, we're going to start filming this summer. So we are gearing up. Pass is gearing up to come back outside to get some work.
uh-oh.
Stay tuned for that. I also have to plug in The Facility. That one's shot by Devin Turner. That one's in post production, but that's going to be a psychological thriller. And I can't wait for that one to come out. I'm really excited about that one. And also, I'm in a picture called Feathers by TMD Productions. That one's streaming right now on Tubi. And that is another movie where I'm outside of my evil self. Maybe not a favorable character, but definitely a good story. And it's a faith based story as well. So it's a really good feel good story with a message behind it. And that's all I have lined up right now. It's only March, as the work, I'm still getting my work for the rest of the year, getting the rest of my year planned out.
And Simply Sean Atkins says, "Hey, scene mate, proud of you."
Yeah, thank you, Shayna's in the facility as well. Shayna a little bit of everything though. She knows some people. She plugged in. Shout out to you.
Now, what else can we expect besides the projects? Will we see you directing behind the scenes as well, too, stepping a little bit behind the lens?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been thinking about it, maybe putting out some short films here and there just to kind of get my chops from the other side of the camera. So it's in the I guess I'm in the early planning stages of it, but nothing set in concrete yet. But as always, stay tuned because these things move fast. One day I don't have anything, the next I got a whole idea planned out. So yeah, stay tuned for that because it is something I'm interested in because I do enjoy being in front of the camera. I grew up watching movies. I love movies. I love going to the movies. And I love seeing myself on screen. But I'm also curious as to what kind of cinematic world I'd be able to create, and how it will resonate with people.
Now we've seen you in a lot of dramas. Do you see yourself stepping outside of that and going into more thrillers? Because KBD Killer Baby Daddy is more so like a thriller. You said it's not a horror film; it's more so like a thriller. And when you said that, I already got the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what genres of film do you see yourself more in? Because actors have a lot of range to be able to go from this character and this character and this character and this character.
Yeah, for sure. I love comedy, actually. That's my favorite genre of film. I watch a comedy film anytime. So I definitely want to get into comedy. I like the dramedy series. Like Atlanta is one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorites. That was more of a dramedy where it was hilarious, but it had its moments of seriousness as well. So I definitely want to get into it. I definitely like the dramedy. And also horror. I'm a big horror movie fan too. I love a good scary movie.
You and my mom
And I,
would get along perfectly because she loves horror films. And what's crazy is I'm born on Halloween, but she's a Libra. She'll watch a slasher film in a heartbeat.
wow, do you watch them?
I don't. I'm a scaredy cat. Like, even when it comes to watching shows like what is it, Unsolved Mysteries, and they show the missing persons, I'll be the type to look in the closet, look
Before
up
you go
under
to
the
bed, you
bed,
gotta
look
check, right?
everywhere, look through the windows, make sure ain't nobody watching me. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat.
Yeah, that's all good. It ain't for everybody. And it's my daughter's trying to get into scary movies, but I tell her, baby, it's levels to this. So we started her with Megan. She did okay with Megan, but she's like, I want to see it. And I said, we ain't ready. We're not ready for it yet. We got some time. We got some time.
So more horror and more comedies. Like I could see you in more comedies as well too. To see you on a lighter note because Pastor, I know that getting into that character, you are focused. When you're on set, what runs through your mind when that director says okay and go?
The person in front of me is my enemy. I don't care about this person. I don't care what this person loves. I don't care who this person loves. I don't care who this person is. I have an objective and you are in my way. Get through it. That's where I give myself permission to think not so highly of people that I actually do love and care about. These are people I've worked with now for 3 years. These are amazing people, but I have to put myself in a state of mind where I hate you. And if you're not a character that I hate, how can I use you? You know,
Mm.
I really have to. I give myself permission because that's hard. That's the difficult part. It's one thing to be in front of a person you don't like and be mean to them. That's easy, right? But imagine you and the person was just laughing and joking, maybe share some drinks before,
And then
and
you
that
have to.
I have to absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But we're all professionals. We get the business. We understand it. It's just a matter of getting over that initial angst, if you will.
And that's what it's about because I know that doing scenes like that, when you have a scene partner, you're in that moment, and then it's just like, ooh, this is very, very deep. And then when it's done, it's over with. You can laugh
Mm-hmm.
and you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being able to switch over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you ever, when you're in the middle of a scene, do you find yourself pulling it from person? Because it's somewhat like a therapeutic release for some people, where it's just like, okay, I need to do this character. I need to release everything that I had inside of me, all this anger, all of this pent up energy. I need to release it on somebody. And they're just like, okay, go for it. So do you ever find yourself in that moment having a situation like that?
Hell yeah. After, you know, it is like you said, it's a therapeutic release. You had a long week or you going through something and now I got this character where I can lay into somebody for free. I get to cuss you not for free. You know what I mean? I get to cuss you, I'll talk crazy to you, and it's not personal because it's on the paper. You know what I mean? It is a release, and it actually earlier on before I realized that I felt guilty, right? Because I was spewing all this vitriol towards people who didn't deserve it, but I realized it was actually helping me. It was giving me a place to. There's a pretty much a place for it. If there's any place for you to yell and scream and really talk crazy to a person, it's on a screen under supervision of a crew and under the guidelines of a script. If you can bring any kind of emotion, that's why I tell people who say they want to get into acting or any tips, any emotion that you can truly bring from yourself to that character, do it. And if you don't bullshit, do it 100%.
Because that director is going to want, that director or whoever's filming the project is going to want you to bring 100% of your all. So that's why I asked if you pull from personal experience, because a lot of actors do. I think it was Viola Davis, one of the actors said something. It's just like, I have to pull, I had some things that I needed to get off of my chest. I needed to release this
Yeah,
and get it out. And
yeah.
when you do, you
It
feel
shows.
so much better.
It shows, and then the reaction that you're giving. I mean, the what you're what you're actually doing, your reactions, the way you're delivering your lines is now is real now. You're giving real emotion. That's why a lot of those actors they get to that place where they'll start to cry because they really take themselves to those places. And the same thing goes with anger. The same thing goes with sadness. The same thing goes with happiness. You can take you have to the scene once I hear action, everything outside of me is blank and I am now in the scene. I live in the scene. I breathe in the scene. I'm looking for things to interact with in the scene. Would I be flipping through papers here? Am I in an office? Am I maybe just getting off the phone when the camera cuts off? Little things like that to bring more realism to the scene, show people where I am, and not to just be a backdrop, but actually touch it, interact with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fashion dolls. Do we have any questions for myself or Bernard? Hi, Ken. Hi, Kenneth. Another amazing actor who, when I look at Bernard and Kenneth, when I look at both of you, because I've mentioned you when I did my interview with Kenneth here, I said, when you do scenes, it comes from a passionate place.
Absolutely.
Another actor is Kevin J. Stone. You feel raw emotions from each and every one of you individuals that I just named. You feel raw emotion. And it comes from a place where it's just like, wow, that was deep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what really mentally was going on for me to be able to tap this deep into this
Mm-hmm.
character? And then sometimes you have to pull back out. It's just like, okay, I'm no longer the character. I'm Bernard or I'm Miss Stevie now.
Right. Having a balance, absolutely, absolutely. I guess it depends on the situation or whatever the scene's call for. But I think it's important that you understand where you're pulling from, because you got to be careful. It can get really deep and it can put you in a dark place for a little while. So you have to be careful and take care of yourself. When you're not in character, take a breather. When they say cut, take a breather if you need to. If you need to stay in character, by all means, I understand. But just make sure us as actors, we take care of ourselves because it can be mentally draining. So make sure you're doing the work. And that's actually been a big something I've been really into is doing the work on myself. I was seeing a therapist regularly anyway, but being an actor helped me discover a lot more about myself. Where I was maybe have situations where I have inhibitions or I'm shy, but I understand that when I'm acting, I choose to do these things, and that's no different than life. I can choose to be however which way I want to be in life. It's completely up to me. So it's been rewarding in that sense where I've discovered things about myself through the craft, through the art. And the deeper I go into learning the art and appreciating what it is for a craft, for an art, the better of course, the better of a performer I become. It's also helped me personally as a person as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it helps you grow. And back
Absolutely.
to what you were saying about mentally, it being a mental thing where it was Lupita. Lupita said when she did the film Us, which I think is a Jordan Peele film, which is a horror film, she said she literally had to detox this from this character, mentally detox from this character. Another one is there was Heath Ledger. He did the Joker. Um, he had to detox too because you find yourself so tied up into the character, you bring the character home with you, and it's just like, okay, snap out of it. I'm no longer the character now. I'm back to me now.
Damson Idris had to do the same thing. He when he was preparing for the last season of Snowfall. Do you watch Snowfall? You ever watch Snowfall?
Yes, and I've had him and Joseph
Man,
on from Snowfall, Jerome
he,
Spank.
he and especially if in the beginning of the show, he wasn't the same character that he is at the end of the show. And what he brought, like he was so dark and so evil, and him having to tap into that place. And he even said afterwards he had to have a spiritual detox, afterwards. And it showed. his show. His commitment to the character is really, really amazing.
Now, earlier I talked about villains having a backstory. You know, the characters that are just evil, horrible people. Who are your top five villains in an iconic project or any iconic film? Who are your top five?
My number one is Jigsaw
Mm.
from the Saw series. Okay, because he's very intelligent. He's got a plan A, plan B, plan C. You know, there's like 10 Saw movies, but he died in Saw 4.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely him. The Joker, right? No matter which. Well, I love Mark Hamill's Joker, the best. Heath Ledger, of course, comes in at second because he just gave such an amazing performance.
Yeah.
But the character who just loves chaos for no reason at all, he just loves chaos. Next villain. That's a really good question. I think a more iconic villain would be Denzel Washington's character in Training Day,
Oh yeah.
and it was a shift for us too because we weren't used to seeing Denzel in that light. He was always the hero, so for him to put on his villain hat, and he gave a lot to the to that character, and he was really strong performance. And then Samuel Jackson, I would say he played the same character, but Sam Jackson as Officer Tenpenny in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, for all my gamers out there, but he was also a cop in Lakeview Terrace, and I always thought those were the same characters. Um, Let me see the villains. Oh, Kanan from Power Book, from the first Power.
Yeah.
Raising Kanan, of course, is really good, but Kanan, 50 Cent's character, Kanan in the original show was amazing. That's a guy who, one, he's already believable for whatever character he's playing, but also how dark and how, there's nothing that those characters won't do. When you talk about taking the chains off and doing whatever, I think that character is one of my favorites. When he shot his own son, oh my God, cold blooded. And then my number five, who would be my number five villain? Let me see, what do I watch? Because believe it or not, I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm more of a movie guy. Darth Vader. Darth Vader, for sure. Very strong, very powerful, very confident in himself, and very iconic too. The voice and the Darth Vader.
Now, when you turn into Pastor Braxton, all of these people that you just named, I can totally see they've had somewhat of an influence. That's why I had to ask, who are your top villains? He's got to pull from somewhere, inspiration from somewhere.
Yeah,
So that's why I asked that question. Where does the inspiration come
I
from
got
for Pastor?
my family. I have a lot of Hellraisers, so I just mimic what I see when one of them pissed off, or um, I take a deep breath and I just allow emotions of hatred. I have to put myself in the place where I hate this person talking to me, you know. But I would say most of my inspiration definitely will come from the movies and what I haven't seen. And I understand that I have a strong voice and I use my voice as a tool. Because if my body language doesn't do it for you, it'll be my voice. It clashes like thunder. And a couple of my co-stars actually flinch, in some of the scenes, because they don't expect me to. Because rehearsal's not gonna be the same as when we film. We rehearsing over Zoom. I'm not, and there's kids in the house. I'm not going to yell like I would on set. But when we're on set and they say action, I'm gonna give it, and I like it too
And
because it adds something to the scene.
again, that Bible, when y'all two were reciting the Bible verse, I even flinched watching it. I watched it again today and I flinched. And someone said it in the comments earlier. It's just like, wow. To be able to turn it on and turn it off. And info question says, what's up, boy?
What's going on? That's how Cam. I said, that's a filmmaker out of PG County. He gave me one of my earlier starts. We did a film called Born Day together on YouTube. He's a one-man army, two-man. He wrote it, directed it. He was the cameraman. He did lighting. He did it all. So shout out. Big shout out.
Yes. And I said this yesterday on when I did my interview with Stephen Morris. I said, shout outs to all of the black filmmakers out here that are doing it independently, filming and doing it independently. So that's why I asked you about directing and
Yeah.
producing. So
Yeah,
I
it's
can't wait
coming.
to see.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. I'm just getting in my bag now. I'm really enjoying the craft and the art of acting. Not this because I don't know. I don't know if I want to direct something and put somebody else in front of the camera, or direct and be in front of the camera. So there's that aspect of it as well. Because I love Spike Lee films, and I recently rewatched Do the Right Thing, and that's one of my top 5 films of all time, of all time.
Mine's is Crooklyn. So
Okay, okay,
yeah.
that's a good one. You know what? My favorite is probably The Crow, and I just saw that they're getting ready to release the remake, which I'm really excited about. It's one of those things where you're excited but nervous because it's like, how's it going to be? What's it going to be like? Because Brandon Lee actually literally died making that film, and it was a really good movie. So I just hope the next one is just as good. I'm not looking for the same. I'm not one of those people that want to see the same movie, or no, I want to see what kind of new story, or what they're gonna bring to a Jungle Fever to. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a classic. That's a cult classic. And Do the Right Thing, School Days
yeah,
as well. But Crooklyn is my favorite, and it's because I have family in New York, so
yeah.
I totally can relate to it. And Alfred Woodard, she did such an outstanding job. Her and Delroy Lindo. It was funny at the same time. So if you guys have seen the scene in the film where the dog pops up out of the couch, if you know, you know. So watch it for yourself. Uh, and info for question it says, much appreciated. New script coming your way in a few
Yeah,
weeks,
yeah.
Bernard.
He already. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. We already. He hit me about a little bit a while ago. So more work coming, more blessings. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
All right, Fashion Dolls, do we have any questions for myself or Bernard? Always a great time catching with you. This is our third time chatting,
Uh,
and it's more and more and more to come. I'm ready for season 2 of the Braxtons and secrets to see where this season left off because I'm just like, I wanted more. I watched it over and over and over and over again. When you post that question, did y'all watch? I watched all
I'm
10
glad. I'm
episodes. So
glad.
it is now my guilty pleasure. The Braxton's first family. Yes.
I'm glad you got to enjoy it. And really quick, just again for everybody, check me out on Feathers on Tubi. A Hustler's Son 2 coming soon. Killer Baby Daddy will be out next month. Love Inside the Drug Game is going to be out later on this year. That's also A56 film. Feathers, please check out Feathers. Feathers is out. Feathers was good. And stay on the lookout for, matter of fact, check out A Hustler's Son 1 so you'll know what to expect in A Hustler's Son 2. All of it coming soon. Most of it on Tubi, and of course, the Braxtons, the First Family. If you haven't already, go check out the Braxtons, the First Family on Tubi, and of course the Facility. But I can't say much about it because nothing out yet. But stay tuned. That one's gonna be really cool.
And Killer Baby Daddy, which will be April
Yeah,
16th,
yeah.
streaming. So I'm excited to see that one, to see you in a different element outside of Pastor. But this character has a specific backstory.
Right. Well, you can
Whereas Pastor, he's
kind of
just
see
evil.
you see the
Yeah.
progressions up to it. Right.
Final thoughts, Fashion Dolls? Do we have any questions for myself or Bernard here? Bernard, any final thoughts of wisdom? Because I'm so proud of you. I remember when we first met and we did our first interview. The chemistry was just amazing between both of us. And the second one, and now the third one. So it's more and more and more and more to come. So, what are some gems that you would like to give to up and coming actors that are looking to get into the acting business or tapping into that emotion for a scene?
Yeah. Well, first, before I go any further, I want to say thank you to you for opening your doors, your arms, and your platform to me. You're the first person to ever reach out. My first interview ever was with you, and I greatly appreciate it. And from the first time we talked, you were very professional. You asked me really good questions, stuff I didn't even expect to have to answer. And you did your research. So I appreciate you and the hard work you're doing. You were my first. I'm always going to be available for an interview with Style by Stevie. That's for sure. Just some words of wisdom to leave with everybody. Remember, be gentle with yourself. You're still growing. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Drink your water and mind your damn business.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, today's final thought comes from James Baldwin. He says, we talked about fear and overcoming fear a lot in this interview today, in this conversation, catching up with Bernard. And James Baldwin quote says, not everything that is faced can be changed. Nothing can be changed until it is faced. Now, facing your fears can be scary for a lot of people. And overcoming challenges can be scary. Change can be scary, but the key trick is to keep going, keep persevering, and not let anything deter you from your focus. And for me, I have laser beam focus on whatever it is that I'm going towards. And I think that everybody needs to have that same type of mentality when you are going into a new career field. It can be moving, it can be any part of your life that you know that you are trying to change or become even better at. It can be scary for a lot of us, but the key trick is to keep going, fashion dolls. And that is the final thought of the day from James Baldwin. So, Bernard, always a great time catching up with you. Where can everyone follow you and check you out? Of course, after this interview, this yeah, I didn't post no OTD of the day, but it's coming up after the interview, so you guys will see today's look after this. And then I'm going to binge watch again the Braxtons. I've been watching it over and over and over again. It's so good. Where can everyone follow you and check up on your projects, feathers, and so much more?
At Bernard Q Settles, one word. That's my Instagram. My Facebook, Bernard Q Settles as well, where you'll catch all the updates. Primarily, I have a Twitter at Bernard Q Settles. It's inactive. I don't use it too much, but I'm making a habit of getting out there and using it more often. And my TikTok, Bernard Q Settles, where I'll post trailers and things of that nature. So stay tuned.
All right, fashion dolls. And we will see you tomorrow. Joining me, we have Ricky Taylor. And again, ladies and gentlemen, the ferocious, the amazing Bernard Q Settles. Always a pleasure. And we got to set up something
For
soon
sure.
for
For
the
sure.
show.
For sure. We'll be in touch. Have a good day.
You too. And make sure you guys head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime and hit that bell so you'll be notified. This interview will be there, and it will also be here on IGTV in case you missed it. So you'll be able to go back and watch it. I love you all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone.